Hi, everybody in the Bearable Traders community. This is Doug T. PDT. I'm a lifetime member and I've been in the community for about 18 months. I was a swing trader prior to joining the group. I swing traded for about 30 years and then decided I wanted out of my tech job and wanted to find out more about day trading full time. And I ran into Andrew's book, which brought me here. And I've learned a tremendous amount along the way. I've really enjoyed the book because I was making it way too complicated with what I taught myself and learned about successful swing trading. I also work as a part-time EMT, and the best way I can describe it to people is swing trading is like driving the Home Depot panel truck that you rented to move, and day trading is like driving an ambulance in heavy traffic. It definitely sends your heart rate up, and as an adrenaline junkie, day trading really parallels my EMS world because of the strict rules, the requirement to stay flexible and not panic and stick to your plan, and like studying the cardiology of your patients to save their lives, you have to not make mistakes during the rapid interpretation of the charts. I focus in big cap stocks. Go find Norm in the BBT forum. He's helped me double the size of my account in over the course of a year and get to PDT status, which I have really appreciated his help. I always use the 15-minute to avoid panicking. If you're in all day, you can't use the one. You will go absolutely insane. You need the slower pace. Big cap stocks I consider to be greater than $150 in price. I like the large float, the large volume, and the predictable behavior throughout the course of the day. And the important thing you have to remember is these stocks are managed by market makers. For example, JP Morgan is paid to manage the Microsoft stock. I worked at Microsoft and I picked up some information from some finance guys there. They want to keep it in tight ranges. Their entertainment for the day is punishing shorts, and the stock can easily cover a 10-point range in a day if things are crazy. Also, with big cap stocks, there are great opportunities to fix yourself up during the course of the day if you ended up on the wrong side of a short or a long, but disaster hasn't struck yet until the very, very end, as you'll see in my second trade. And another thing is there are big drops at the end of the day with these stocks because the market makers enter early with the corporation shares, which have to be returned at the end of the day. If you are interested in big cap stocks, you should first get yourself to PDT status, in my opinion, by building up with small trades. You need to have some days where you've had max losses and probably 2 years experience in swing and day trading. So for my first trade, this was on Wednesday, June 26th. Full credit to Norm for calling this one out in the chat room. I jumped in and looked at it at the beginning. It kind of started back here at 9:15 for me. Um, when he called it out, I knew when I looked at it, this was exactly my criteria, so I automatically thought it'd be worth going into my margin, which I don't normally do. You listen to Andrew talk in the mornings about muscle memory, and this was great. I knew it was a good trade because I didn't even have to think about it. I recommend studying the time and sale window of your favorite stock all day for several weeks to understand the feel of how it works and how you just start to immediately drop into a trade when it looks good and you don't have to really think about it. On this one, I went long at the beginning. Norm called it out at 9:15, right about here. I looked at it and immediately liked it. I went in at 155.70 with a big block right there, right as it started to shoot up. Just pure luck, although, between Norm and the muscle memory I developed, I'll give myself a little credit there, but I did not expect the run up that was about to happen on this. Like I said earlier, I rarely go into margin, but I did on this one. It went all the way up to 160, and I sold half there. I wasn't quite sure what it was going to do next, and then it went up again to 160, 134, almost to the tip top, where I sold the rest. Here I made my profit goal. Later in the day, I did a kind of a routine Amazon trade. Amazon is a great stock for me. Spend a lot of time there, but I love having being able to have a sidebar action with the other big cap stocks like this, and I could not do that without the forum. I don't know how anybody day trades without being part of a community. For my other trade for Boeing, this was on Thursday, the 27th. Kind of the same thing at the very beginning here. I immediately saw some bad news on CNBC. Members of my family worked at Boeing, and so I'm very familiar with the company. And the second I heard it on the news, I knew I better get in. I went short because of bad news catalyst, with 737 Max, it dropped really fast. I shorted it at 365.55 with a big block, so that would have put me right about here, I think, above the red line there. I rarely go into margin, but did on this one. It went all the way down to 352 where I sold half. And then at 735, market makers bought a big block, um, and and it went up more right here. And then I was trapped for the entire day because now I'm in a short above my price. So I waited it out, just crossing my fingers, talking to Norm all day, saying I know this block has to go back into the vault at the end with the money makers, and sure enough, it did. At 3:40 p.m., they flushed it, and it finally hit 364.55, and I got out with the skin of my teeth. So it took me all day, though. Look at how much time I had to wait all this time, hoping that it was going to fall again, because I just follow the big caps enough to know that this frequently happens. You can't count on it, but if you're trapped in a trade like this, I really had nothing to lose because the skyrocket part had already happened. And so the fact that it was I mean, it was like the nightmare bad news day for a company, and yet look at how the market maker did a really good job for the company of managing that price and keeping it up. I mean, look where it started here at 352, and through the day they kind of kept the average around probably around 365 or so, which is really impressive. Made my daily profit goal on this one too. So 2 days in a row, big wins. I was really happy with that. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to talk to you soon.